Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Dylan D. Welcome back to the channel, and it's finally time for another over-the-top build. It's definitely a honey block build. There's tons of honey blocks in it. Still just a regular slimestone machine though, but there's tons of more mechanics that are going into this build versus all of the older builds on the channel. Obviously we have honey blocks, mad using the terracotta blocks as well. No, those, you have to use those, and I have a ton of them in the overall build. They don't stick to anything. It's hard to pick up. It's easy to make it to where a lot of the other segments won't go over its 12 block push limits, etc. This machine here is weaponized to the extreme. It has no actual shape or anything like that. The Angel of Death is just that. It has weapons all over it. And then, of course, if we start traveling this direction, we can see just right there, there's just the mech itself, and then all of the weapons that are in this machine overall. There's some brand new TNT cannons, brand new nukes, using all of the nukes from the last one, even a brand new robot. You can see that Hulkbuster back there. And yeah, so in which, to where that machine, thing just looks ridiculous. So it's able to fight a machine from any direction. It has nukes that fire upwards, nukes, as you can see in the front here, that fire forwards. The top of the machine just has a straight up world eater on it. Definitely, that's probably one of my favorite parts about the overall build. My favorite part though is the four-directional machine modules on the sides. They're like some docking bays. There's 4 total on the machine. You're able to actually launch four-directional machines out to do some reconnaissance if you need be, and then come back and redock the machine. Obviously, this is just a ton of blocks. If we if we kind of go around it here, this is just ridiculous. So showing you how this thing works, I figured it would be a lot easier to just go ahead and break it down into all of the different mechanisms of the machine, and then we can definitely go from there. As well, as I'm sure you can see, the main block of choice in this overall build is going to be the netherite, the block of netherite. Reason being, as I'm sure a ton of you do know this already, but just in case for the ones that don't know, the block of netherite has a 1200 blast resistance. That's 1200 blast resistance. It can literally withstand all the TNT in the world. It can stand these nukes. It can stand it all. It can definitely do it. It can withstand those blasts. Now, in which though, just to show you, these here, so this is going to be a lot stronger. Like this shape right here is going to be a ton more stronger than give, let's say, a shape that looks like this. All right, reason being is because the block that is placed like right here is definitely has a higher chance of blowing up, obviously on this one, just due to the corner. But given, you know, just how encased this overall build is in in this block, obviously on a survival server you'd have to be just balling out of your mind rich, have one of those Ilmango world eater, nether eater machines. But no, as far as this thing here, it just makes it a little bit more durable. Say something hits it, blows up in this area, it may just destroy like this glass, obviously, and a couple of these slime blocks, but it's not going to completely destroy the inside of your machine to where you have to start over again from scratch. But yeah, no, as far as that's going this direction, just real fast, going over some things. Here's the overall machine that I started with. It's just a mech. It's like a mech suit. I wanted to see just how encased we could get it with blocks. Obviously, this is pretty encased. Looks pretty dang good. I do so say myself. But right next to it here is just the skeleton of the machine. I really like this because it just shows you like all of like the slime and honey blocks in it. Definitely looks really good. And here's just the little engine, which is singled out right here. This engine was just a very easy engine. I'm not sure how many steps or how many like cycles or whatnot that it goes through, but this sticky piston will pull this slime block out, and with this sticky piston, and then that will pull this whole string of honey blocks around here with this observer on it, updating this piston to push this forward again, start the cycle. Now the reason that this is out the back here, this redstone block with this sticky piston, is just in case. So if you're updating the engine from inside and then you want to go ahead and stop it again, you can just go ahead and double tap this, double update it with your fire charge, and it'll push it back to this position. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, it'll just be like right up on it and these two observers right next to each other. But this prevents it from starting to just go back the other direction, or from breaking the engine and the overall machine as well. But yeah, no, as far as that's The machine itself, it took quite a while. But yeah, what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how each individual part moves there, starting with the elevator in the back. Yeah, and before I forget, this engine here is a variable speed engine. It will go this speed at first, and then if you stop the machine, and then you actually place a slime block here instead of a honey block, you can restart the machine there, and it'll go twice as fast. This is basic. This is the basic block palette that I used for the overall machine. There's not really that much going in there. Obviously, these blocks right here, due to the slime block itself, you're able to charge it. So then, it's much easier to use like pistons and whatnot on this. Honestly, the slime block is what you should be using first, and then for an area that's really close to slime blocks, or maybe you can't really work out how you're going to do a connection, then you want to use honey blocks. Honey blocks you're not able to charge, and you're only like if you have a honey block like right here, and then you have an observer like on the side, that's good to go, because then you're able to obviously charge up that sticky piston so it moves. But if it is a slime block, you get the quasi connectivity, so we can also update that one right there. Yeah. So honestly, I would choose slime block over honey block there, but the honey block is a much more beautiful color, and of course it's pretty nice that it's that little block lower, so you can kind of get pushed forward on it. The only thing I don't like about it is how you can't jump on honey blocks. That sucks. So if you're in your machine in a certain area, like, you know, you're not going to be able to you're just stuck in the honey, stuck in it. Drawbacks that this machine has, of course, is all of the TNT on it, obviously, like with any Minecraft war machine. Reason being is because the back of this machine here total has about over 2,000 TNT minecarts in it. So you may get a lot of lag when you do if you do go to the world download, everything like that. But if you do destroy one of those TNT or you blow it up, it could definitely just take out the whole back piece of this machine. Obviously that's an issue, but of course the main overall thing is just to see, the reason I built this was just to see how many like weapons we could really fit in this little area. This machine here, like just the main build minus the TNT cannons on the sides, is about 33 blocks by 33 blocks by about 29 blocks tall. With the TNT cannons, it goes up to about 40 blocks wide, maybe a little bit more. But no, as far as that, I just wanted to see if I could build something that's a little bit smaller, but just packed full of equipment and tech and just really cool machinery. So yeah, it's definitely not perfect, but hey, it's a great start for the honey blocks. It's a great start for especially like the channel and overall as well. But no, as far as that as well, there's a absolute ton of new tech and stuff to go over. So let's go ahead and start there. And obviously the best place to start is how you get in the machine. Coming back to the scorpion looking elevator in the back here, this thing, I really like this. This can get pulled by the machine along. So obviously if you wanted, the elevator can be taken with, and then obviously when you get to your destination, you can come back down using the elevator. To show you that, getting up on the elevator, you just want to press this button here, and then it's going to go ahead and take you up. Pretty satisfying. Now, once you're up at the top, this is where you'll go into your machine. But if you want this to come with, all you'll have to do is grab your buttons. You'll place a button on the top of here, just update that, and then you'll want to do the same thing over here as well. Just place a button, update it, and then bam. Now, of course, this will come with you. Now, going into the machine here, this is where you'll fly your machine. The engine area, which is actually pretty nice. You can come down this direction, and since honey blocks are that little sliver smaller, if you wanted to go back up, you can just jump on the edge of that observer, jump over this way, and then there's a trapdoor on this side, so you can do the same, which is right here. But yeah, as far as that's to pilot the machine, you have two options. So if you have a beastly computer and whatnot, unlike most of us, if you have a beastly computer, then by all means you can just break this immovable block, and then grab your fire charge and then just update this area, and this whole machine is going to be propelled forward, entirety of it. In which the only thing that I give there is if you don't have a beastly old computer or a machine to run it on, you can grab an immovable block again, In which, let me make sure, bam, that one right there. And then you can actually put it on the front where this light is. You can bring it out a few blocks if you do. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to fly this machine forward, in which it will run into this immovable block, and you'll be able to update it again by just hitting the observer in the back. So yeah, this is typically the easiest way to run like this super big one here. If you wanted to run like maybe one of the smaller ones, that would be even easier. But yeah, once you're up in the machine right here, we'll demonstrate how to move it forward. All you need is a fire charge. Go ahead and update right here, and then your whole machine is going to take off. Now the great thing about this though is if you want to stop it, you can just look down at this honey block and try and ignite it there. It looks like I'm gonna get pushed sideways out of the back of the machine though, just due to the lag. So ground, not the front. I should have ran into that. Perfect. And as you can see here, these TNT cannons are super cool because they have to be brought along from the side of the machine. And they do update kind of funny sometimes. I'll go over in the video, of course, how to maneuver around that happen to you guys' machines as well. But yeah, no, as far as this machine here, it did take quite a long time to make, but that's how you run it. And then, of course, just in case you guys want to design it your own way as well, we got the skeleton of it over here with all of the blocks on it right here. So you can go through and change out blocks if you do want to and whatnot as well. But yeah, world download in the description for this machine, definitely. Give you a little better demo of the entire machine moving there. I just wanted to obviously show you guys that the whole machine moves forward. But just to give you a better demo, what again you can do from the side, what you want to make sure of is just destroy that immovable block, and then you can update this observer, and then the whole machine will start to move forward there. As you can see, just walking forward. If you'd like, just because you want to look at it or something like that, you can just stop it right here by placing a movable block. It will basically shut down like right away. And then just to start it back up again, you can just update the back observer. So first up here, we have actually the World Eater, but we'll come back to that since that's the whole top of the machine. But the first up thing that I have here for you is the backwards pulling, sideways firing, two-directional horizontal nuke. It's like a holder for the overall nuke. If we actually come up to the front, it's actually pulled along by a moving redstone block. So like once you move it, just pushes the whole nuke forward, and then its activator observers are just hanging around up here, waiting to do their thing as well. But yeah, just to demonstrate that again, as you can see, it kind of breaks the whole nuke down, pull it along. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and fire it, the sticky pistons up here, a lot of the stuff in the build will be activated by buttons. And then, yeah, actually just buttons and fire charges. But it's all dependent on which way you want to fire it off. So there'll be 4 of these in the overall build, and they'll be in the back of the build, back here, in which what you're able to do is whatever way that you want to fire it off. What you're going to do is, like, let's say I want to go that direction. What I'll do is that way, there's this sticky piston. You can place a button on the top. And in the new versions, it's not going to break it. So if you hold that down, it'll obviously not go anywhere on you. And then on the side of this one, as soon as you update it, it will put this down and it'll fire it off this direction. As you can tell there. And then obviously once it hits something, it's going to explode. And if you wanted to fire it the other direction, again, just to show you, you'd place a button on the top of this one. If we're firing it this way, we'll place the button here. We'll put that down, it'll update, and then it'll retract. We can break that. And then on the side of this sticky piston, you can just place a button, fly that way as well. And then it will blow up on contact right there as well. Next up, we have the rear firing nuke. So it only fires this direction, so anything that's behind you. Same as the other one, it's just pulled along by this redstone block. If I can place it. As you can see, if you break that, it'll pull it forward. And does the same thing. But yeah, no, as far as that's, this observer is down on this nuke. Because once this section is pulled forward, it'll update down here, pulling this area forward. and then that will also update this one, pulling the trigger forward with it. But when you fire it backwards, all you actually have to do is update this to push that down. And then when you want to fire it off, you just update this observer over here. Go ahead and fire it off the backwards direction. But yeah, as you can see, this one was pretty simple to put together. Nothing too special there on that module. But obviously, once this runs into something, there we go. And you'll see that observer pushed underneath, and it'll ignite that TNT there. Ooh, excuse me. Goodness. Right, so the next one up is the vertical firing nuke. This one's pretty interesting. Reason being, obviously it's pulled forward just like the rest of them here, off the back of the machine. But the reason that it's so interesting is the way that it explodes. Now, I had to dumb down how many TNT minecarts were in the overall build. Reason being is because when it would explode, a lot of them would explode downwards, and it would get a huge issue with like blowing up big portions of the machine. So to solve that issue, we just put in a lot more of the block of netherite into the bottom of the build, and then the TNT minecart, when the TNT explodes first, it kind of wipes out all these slime blocks and whatnot, and then the two sections of TNT minecarts are right here, and then the other one's right there. You can kind of see it peeking out. Those fall down and then hit this block down here, and then they blow up. But since these blocks of netherite are down there, it's really nice because the explosion just kind of more sends it upwards, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, in order to launch this one off, it's actually the same almost as the other one. What you can do is you will place down another button, grab another button, and you actually place it right here on the top of this slime block. Once you update it, we'll go ahead and take off. Super nice and easy. Super nice and easy. But yeah, once it hits something, we can go ahead and just demonstrate that. Should be another piece of TNT right there, but let's oh, it's a massacre. But yeah, as you can see there, it still went down and destroyed some stuff. But no, as far as that, these things are pretty OP. Obviously, you can dumb down how many TNT minecarts you put in it overall. To finish up the nuke portion of the overall build, here will be one of the arm nukes. As you can see, it's like on the arms of the overall build coming out from these pushers. They are double piston extended, so obviously, of course, it's kind of looking a little long, a little big there. But if we move it forward, it all moves forward from this piston here. If I could place it. As you can see there, it'll double piston push all the way up. And then when it catches back up, it pushes it forward. And you can see there's TNT minecarts in here. How you would actually go about activating that is breaking this block, and then you place a sticky piston right here. And then that's going to go ahead and take off from the rest of the overall build. Kind of doing its thing with its double piston pushing extension. But the trigger is going to be right on the front. As you can tell, that there's 3 pistons here. One redstone block is kind of hovering back from this TNT. If it were to run into something, and I'll demonstrate that, then it'll push that redstone block over that TNT block here, as you can see. So then that'll detonate. Ooh. Just to come over here and kind of show you where that is and to show you how you would fire that off. You can see these observers in the build right here and then right there. And it's the same on this side. If we were to be in the actual build itself, we can see that from over here. So we'd want to replace this block with a sticky piston and then this one with a sticky piston, which you can do coming down here, coming right here. Break this one out and put a sticky piston here. And the same on the top corner ones as well. But yeah, that's how you would send off the arm nukes. Next up, we have the sliders. I've seen these on YouTube around. I just made this quite a while ago. Wanted to throw it in. It did have a TNT minecart attachment, explosion TNT cannon to it. But due to the 1.16, well, from all of my testing, from everything that I've seen there, what ends up happening is that the TNT minecarts try to blow up all at different times instead of all at once, like in previous versions, which kind of sucks. Because then obviously just the TNT minecarts blow up one at a time. It just kind of pushes them upwards, as you can see from all the nukes and whatnot. They don't all just blow up at once anymore. But yeah, as far as that, still able to use the sliding effect of the TNT minecarts, which is awesome. Go ahead and grab one. This is the kind of singular module. These are all located on the bottom of the build, behind the feet. You'd see them right around the elevator area. And these modules here, it's pretty cool. You can just kind of stack it up. It just stacks up TNT minecarts there for you. You just place it right here. It's pretty cool. You can't really spam it or it'll explode, but you can hold it down as long as you're on the top area here. And then once you feel like you have enough TNT minecarts, you can go ahead and update right here. And that's going to go ahead and send them off. You can update that again to get your trigger back. And then it's going to go off this way until it hits a block, and then it will explode. And I mean, as far as how critically cool that is, like this does so much damage, and it's kind of almost like a sneak attack. So yeah, and the coolest thing about it too, this is kind of a closer look at it. We update this. As you can see, it mends these two tracks together, charging them to send off your TNT minecarts. But yeah, no, this is definitely pretty fun. This one back here is just the one that's attached to your overall robot in the overall build. So obviously the trigger's up a lot higher. But yeah, same thing. The TNT minecarts actually drop in from way above, which is also another really cool thing. They kind of come in and just drop from like way up here, just to actually demonstrate that. All right, so when you come out of the middle section here, which is like right here, as soon as you walk up, you can actually place some TNT minecarts right here, in which it'll fly this way, and then it'll hit this block, and then it'll fall straight down, getting magnetized, magnetically attached to that rail. It'll look like anyway. Look, check this out. Click, and then again, click. Yeah, as you can see, it will magnetize almost to those rails down there. And then if you want to set it off, I wasn't able to get this piece of the overall build underneath the 12 block push limit, but you still are able to fire it off. All you got to do is place a redstone block right here. And then to fire off those that we just placed on this side, all you'll have to do is just update the block behind it, which will be this honey block. Once you do that, you'll see down there that the TNT minecart TNTs have been launched, and then you'll want to just update that again to get that to come back. Alright, so back here at the middle section in the back area, I wanted to show you guys where you can set off all of the TNT minecart sliders. Obviously, you can place down your TNT minecarts right here on this rail. You can also do it here on this side as well. If you want to come back this direction, you also have another opportunity to place them right over here on this rail, and on the other side as well. You can either go in that way, you can actually come around this direction, you can place them right here, and then your trigger for it is actually just right here, right in front of you, so you can update just the side of this sticky piston, and it'll set off this side. And as you can see, if we set down like a TNT minecart here, it'll roar around the side there and go all the way down, and then it'll fall and click to the rails down there. Again, you don't want to spam these. Reason being is because they will just straight explode if you're just like, you know, one, just right after the other. But as you can see, just like that, they're good to go. And then all you'll do is take your fire charge and right down here. So again, I was standing right here. All you have to do is just update this sticky piston, and as you can see, it'll send them off, and then update it again just to get your mechanism back in check. But yeah, as far as that, same on the other side as well, and then as soon as this runs into something, it'll explode too. Lastly, if you wanted to move your sliders forward on your own machine, same as all the others, it's just with this redstone block. Once you move it, it'll push all of it forward, kind of sends the signal backwards and then back this way up, and it pushes the triggers forward without updating them. which is really nice as well. Next up, we have probably my most favorite part about this machine. This is the four-directional flying machine from the last 2 videos on my channel there. Definitely go check those out if you haven't already. But this four-directional flying machine right here is just pushed forward by the machine regularly as it walks forward. But you can also launch it off and do your own reconnaissance. There's 4 of these on the build overall. You can tell by the blue glazed terracotta blocks all around it. But yeah, once you come up to this, let's say you want to do some reconnaissance, you can put a button on the side of this sticky piston, hit that, and then it's going to go ahead and launch off your four-directional flying machine. Once you're satisfied, of course, if you didn't check out those other 2 videos, you can go ahead and stop it here. You can take a button or a redstone torch, place it on top of this sticky piston, and then set it off that direction as well. Now, let's say, of course, that you are done doing your reconnaissance. Say, hey, you know what? I'm good to go. Let's go back to the mothership. What you could do, take a button, go this way first. What we're going to try and do is line this up. There we go. Perfect. And yeah, so what you want to do is you want to line this slime block up with that blue glazed terracotta. And then you can go ahead and grab your updating device and send it back that direction. Now, once it hits that glazed terracotta, it's actually going to stop the machine because all of these blocks are over their 12-block push limit. And as you can see, boom, it has stopped it. And then all you got to do is send it back that direction. And once it hits this terracotta block, it'll stop. And then you can actually just go ahead and pick up your observer again. And then this is ready to be moved forward again. So you can reuse it over and over again on your machine. And to move it forward, obviously, it's from the back, from this piston right here. You just place a piston right here. And as you can see, it will move that whole piece of the machine forward. And as you can see here, the four-directional machines, they're the docking bay. This long block of the blue glazed terracotta, or whatever terracotta you guys choose to do it with there, that'll come in this direction and then hit this back wall, and then you can push it that way. So that's why I made sure to leave those outside areas open. But yeah, no, as far as that's kind of looks a lot less confusing when you know what you're looking at. Next up, what we have is the 90+ block long-range cannon. It is water-based. Not sure if I was doing it wrong or what have you, or if they did fix the ability to move the water source blocks on the fencing or something like that. But I used an old-school method with the Frostwalker enchanted boots there. With this machine, if we actually go ahead and break that, we want to go ahead and set it, just in case. Sometimes when you first load it into a world there and you move forward with it the first time, this section of the machine will pull out and it'll kind of leave it out there. I'm not sure if it's a bug or what's going on, but it's just the water coming down for the first time and updating the observer. But yeah, as we can see here, to update it, we can destroy that one block right here. This is the added engine to the overall build, so where we could actually put it on this machine and it run. Had to add some lag to it there, some more steps in the machine. But yeah, no, we just update this and then it'll move forward one block. And as you can see, yeah, so totally, this moves out for the first time. When you move it forward, it just moves out. All you got to do is come back in this way, grab it, and then pull it back in. Now, we can get rid of the movable blocks. This one will just fall back. And the ones in the overall build as well, they'll be placed along the side of this piston, so they'll just fall back too. But yeah, no, now that that is just like that, we should be able to fly it perfectly fine now. So we'll go ahead, place a block right here, and then we'll come up this way, and we want to update this sticky piston right here on the back. Now this will start to move everything forward. It catches up. Yeah, so cool to watch this thing move, especially that piston. This piston like moves out and then comes back in to get pushed forward. Yeah, it's super cool. Anyway, when you're done moving that there, you can place an immovable block right here. In the overall build, it just catches up to a section of the build, putting this area over its 12-block push limit. So this can obviously take its time catching back up with the overall much faster than this. But yeah, to set off your missiles, or your TNT cannon, you want to come in this direction here, grab yourself some TNT. Should have had that on hand, but no worries. Once you grab that TNT, you'll want to stand about right here. It's okay, can't really fall or nothing. You'll be placing the TNT right here, 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 and then right there. You can place 4 TNT total, and then we're going to run out to the front here and then place another TNT block right here, and then the TNT that we place first will blow up, sending it this direction. First up, go ahead, I'll grab another button as well. What you have to do is there is a sticky piston with a redstone block right here. Place your button, place it over there to where it can update properly. Next up, we'll place in our TNT. 1, 2, 3, and then when you place this one, it's going to update the machine to ignite all 4 of them at the same time. So you kind of want to be. So it'll update all of those. You'll come back out to the front. TNT here. Woo! Yeah, I placed it like last second, and then that'll explode. Now, since I placed it last second, obviously it didn't go as far as we wanted it to. But if we do it again, place it like here. There we go. Woo! There, yeah, that's that long range action. But yeah, no, this is this has to be one of the funnest things I've made. Update that. There'll definitely be a tutorial for this soon too. Woo. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And of course, it always depends on when you place the ending TNT. Basically, it all depends on when you place that, as how far or how long the TNT will stay ignited before. So if we were to do it and wait until now, with this really crazy arc shot, and then it comes back down and it blows up nice and close to your machine. But if you set it kind of early, set it kind of right away, it'll fall down onto the top of that fence, blow it up, sending it a much further distance. And it even blows up in the middle of the air. But yeah, no, as far as that, before you take off again, what you want to go ahead and do, obviously you can do it inside the machine. You want to place a button against that sticky piston, grab that redstone block so it doesn't keep updating that, and then this is able to start moving. Break that. Last but not least, some Hulkbuster armor. This is just, of course, me just messing around. I put a head on the overall contraption there and was able to, pull this out as well. But yeah, no, this thing was really fun to make. Iron Man's my favorite Avenger as far as all that. Love the MCU. Huge fan. Huge fan. But the light in the middle of the chest. Now, this one over here is kind of more of a Hulkbuster, given that the blast resistance of the block of choice is 1200. But given it the color scheme, totally makes it look so much cooler. That looks just so cool. Works the same way as the other build as well. You just want to come down this way, remove your immovable block, and then what I'm going to do just to stop it easier is put a immovable block out this direction, or obviously you can stand in the machine. You'd be standing right there. You just update this honey block right here, and then the machine will go forward. But just to make it easier for myself, this piece of obsidian will go ahead and stop the machine for me. But yeah, if you wanted it to set it off again, you can come out from the overall build if you wanted to, and then you update the back observer. So this observer in the back right here. Take your fire charge. Go. But yeah, we can't forget that world eater across the top of this machine. I've gone ahead and I've cleared out this huge space in this mesa biome here to prove like just how awesome the top of this little machine piece is as well. Now there is a 2-directional flying machines all across the top. There's 8 total, in which obviously you can extend this out like as far as you'd want. You can go as far that way as you want. You can go even as far as you want that way. But just for the video's sake, we have this much more smaller version. But in which, of course, to start it all up, what you can go ahead and do, you can find your way up from the middle of the machine, which is, again, right here. Finding your way up, you can go this way, or you can go on that side, and you just come up these stairs. Then you can come up this way. Now to launch the World Eater, you'll want to make sure that you remove both of those 2 blocks on each side. That's just for aesthetics, so you can like get over there. But then coming down this way, what I'm going to do is you want to kind of prep where the docking station will be on the other side. And then what you can do is coming down this way, kind of hop around into there. I'm going to go ahead and hop into this minecart, and then you can go ahead and just update this observer right here. And then you're going to start to move forward. This is safely placed, so nothing like rubs up against it or anything like that. In which we're just going to fly over to this other side, grabbing a movable block. All right, and when you're satisfied with how far you've come, you can go ahead and just place a movable block on the top of that fence post right there. Now, in which this is kind of just like your reconnaissance thing here. What I'm going to do is you can actually kind of set up where you want this back wall to be. I'm going to set it up as close to this wall as possible. Yeah, that'll be good. And then whenever you're satisfied with where you want to be, what you'll do is just add in, you want this whole wall to be 29 blocks wide. So 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay, cool. Once you have 29 there, you can actually go back the other direction. What we'll want to do is just put in a movable block right here real fast to kind of mimic that we're all the way up there. And then what we can do is finally place down that piston. Grab one. Oh. Place that piston back there, and then we can actually update right here. And we'll go back. All right, so once you've returned all the way back, all you have to do is just update this right real quick, and then it'll pop this back out for you. And then, of course, hitting shift, you pop out either on top of this fence post or right here on the slime block. But yeah, what you want to go ahead and do is prime this to make sure that all of them are ready to go. And that's actually pretty simple. All you'll do is grab your dead coral fan. You want to place one right here, and then you'll break that block next to the TNT. And you want to do that all the way down for all 8 modules, or however many modules you have. Once that's all done, all you have to do is place in your pistons that you just placed in on this side as well. With those pistons, you just place here, place one there, and then there should be 8 of these total as well. I can get around. But yeah, no, as far as that, then they're ready, they're primed. I'm gonna go get rid of this immovable block right out here. And then we'll come back this way, and we can set them all off. Now the best way to do that is just this observer on the top, and then you can just move down the row here, and it's that observer on the top of each. So updating that, we'll just do that one, that one, that one, that one. Go. And then, of course, once that's all done and doing what it's done there, you can actually go through and pick up your spoils if you want. You can come down here, pick up the blocks that are left over, or obviously you can go ahead and even pick up all the gold that's left over. And you can just keep running this like as many times as you want, even until you get maybe down to diamond level. Definitely, you know what I mean. But in order to run it again, all you wanted to go ahead and do is come down the line, updating right there, and send it off again just by pressing that. That will send that module off. Same thing on this side. Just that, and then this. Again. That's going to do it for this video, you guys. I really hope you all enjoyed it. Definitely took a ton of time to make this video. So if you did find yourself experiencing some sort of joy while watching today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends. because this is what makes my channel grow. But no, as far as that here, if you guys want to see tutorials on anything, definitely blow up the comments section as well. If you want me to show you how I did all of these mechanisms here, there will definitely be tutorials coming up for the TNT cannon there, the module for the 4-directional flying machine, these sliders, as well as this world eater right here, this 2-directional world eater. But yeah, no, as far as that, if you guys want to see a tutorial for these bigger builds like this mech over here, or even the Hulkbuster down the line, definitely let me know in the comments, or else I won't know. I won't know. You gotta let me know. But yeah, as far as that, you guys, some things coming up there. This still, just so you guys know, this still is not the most ridiculous thing I've built in Minecraft. This thing may be pretty ridiculous, but we still haven't even hit that. But yeah, no, look forward to that. And then of course, I've been pretty big into those the basalt pathway makers in the nether. Oh yeah, so look forward to one of them. Look forward to that video coming soon as well, you guys. But again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you had a good time. But yeah, until that next video, guys, later late.